So there's an old story my dad used to tell about a great uncle or something who used to he didn't need to learn a trade, learn welding or something. He'd apply for jobs as he'd been doing it, and he'd hack his way through for as long as he could before they realized he didn't know how to do it, and they'd fire him. And with each successive job, he got better, and eventually this is how he learned how to be a whatever tradesman it was. I don't know if the story's true or not, but it's definitely a very reasonable way to learn sourcing and what's important about a given thing. So, take the case, and this, this is something I counsel all the time to people looking to source. Your credibility to the people you're sourcing is not on the technical or engineering side, for most of us. Sometimes that's true, sometimes that's what you bring, but it's certainly not on everything. So, so the things you don't know are the things you don't know, and they should be okay. So, you talk to a manufacturer, and we're talking, use the examples we're working with, these IR remotes. There's things we don't know about. We just show up and, we have our rough spec. It's certainly not adequate. We ask a bunch of questions. They ask a bunch of questions. You learn and you refine the spec and it gets better. And the good ones, are vastly more interested in what you can bring to the table, which, in our case is access to the U.S. market, understanding the consumer. I think that's true for a lot of the people, certainly the non-engineering types who want to source products, have access to the market and, good marketing and sales skills, and that's, a very compelling set of skills. So there's nothing wrong with just launching out there. You have the basic rough idea of what you want, you learn. You ask a lot of questions, and, a good manufacturer will ask questions themselves, and that's the way your spec improves, your understanding of the space improves, your understanding of the trade-offs. What do you get for a better, for this more expensive chipset, who uses what, and, it doesn't take long. It's a very fast, efficient way to learn because you're learning right at you're really choking up on the source of what you need to know. The good factories will let you know what they need to know, and very quickly you'll come to an understanding of what it is that you need to specify and the trade-offs you need to understand. And so long story short, don't hesitate to get started asking, and it's a very good source to get out there with some of these factories. And frankly, if you can't understand what they're saying, or you're not communicating with them, or their stuff, their questions don't make sense to you, or their answers don't make sense, you're dealing with the wrong factory. You need to have a factory that you can communicate with, and that can, bring their level of understanding to bridge yours. If they can't, then those gaps are going to come and haunt you in production. So, if you're not communicating well or understanding them during the quoting process, that's kind of all you need to know. Either, you need to get more educated, or they do. But by the time you're through that process, you can't expect it to get smoother during production. There's going to be all kinds of new issues raised there. So get started and, be clear on what you bring to the table and what you don't.